streaming on Facebook and YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a session that we have coming up. Before we get started, I do want to take a moment to thank the Rag Company for their sponsorship and making this all possible. All right. Today we have Marshall Hill, who's with Total Auto Solutions and also the Pints and Polishing podcast, and he's going to teach us ceramic coat more with better marketing. Marshall, take it away.
Hey, Sheldon, thanks for having me on. It's been great to be a part of Mobile Tech Expo's education over the past years. 18, 19, we dealt heavily on marketing. And was saddened about 2020, but looking forward to being live again in person 2021. Thankful for the opportunity. Cheers to community. Thank you for the opportunity of having us on for the virtual. It's been great working through this with you guys. Thank you for letting us come on. Today we're going to talk about how to coat more cars. Well, you don't necessarily need to go get some specialized training in how to know the exact process in coating cars. You don't necessarily need to go and learn training in any other aspect than how to actually apply more. That is the main benefit for your business and ceramic coatings. So how do you do that? Well, you do it with better marketing. That is, well, one of the toughest tricks though. So how did I get started and learning about marketing? I mean, who am I to take this time to to educate you? Why should you learn from somebody like me? Well, it's a great question. The question would start at, well, how did I get started? 2002, I picked up a power washer and started cleaning cars. It was kind of on a whim, but I learned with a zero marketing budget. Zero. Many people today have been trying to get out and start their own business. Many of them have left companies that they were a part of, and they took large email accounts and large followings and were able to start their own. I didn't have any. I had no contacts, no information. How do you start with zero? How do you grow out of nothing? Well, the journey continued into 2006. And I built a $1.6 million car wash and detailing facility called Zud's Car Wash. And I did that with customers from my mobile detailing business. My greatest lesson there that I learned was B2B marketing and direct sales. And I learned from the, vice president of Leap Communications, who at that time owned Cricket Communications, who is now owned by AT&T. You might be using a Cricket service now, and the VP of that company was able to help teach me how to go into businesses and develop relationships so that we could grow our business. Guess what? We did it virtually for free. Well, 2010, once again, zero budget. I had to learn by selling products out of my garage. How do I grow a brand? By selling door-to-door, cold call, straight into dealerships, car washes, detail shops. How would I be able to survive if I had zero experience of that? Zero knowledge of a sales process? And be able to grow a brand so that in 2017, I could take that Gary V Flip Challenge and be on the, the cold hard floor, sales floor of Mobile Tech Expo, and be able to sell a polisher right on the ground floor after building the brand up. At that point in time, I did invest some little money of flying out and doing some things. But overall, from a detailer perspective, where detailing as an industry, we don't do a whole lot of big marketing. We don't understand big campaigns. We're not exactly understanding, how do I get more customers? What is the best way of doing it? Well, we probably ought to define what marketing is. Well, marketing is basically a big soup. of ways that you get in front of your customer. 2018 and 2019 at the Mobile Tech Education Days, my good friend DJ Patterson and I walked through with detailers how to build out things that they should be doing for marketing, things that they should be doing to grow in their understanding of what was available during those times. 18, 19. 2019, we pushed heavy on Instagram, fully believing that everybody should be marketing, be working, be dealing with Instagram. 2020 gave reign to a new app that 2021 should be dominating with detailers. There's a big process that goes involved with all the different opportunities that you as a detailer have to use apps, use social media, use word of mouth, use direct contact, using social groups. See, marketing isn't one exact system. There's not exactly a step-by-step procedure. So if you're going to go to a training where they want to charge you $500, learn how to wipe on a product, throw a t-shirt on and get some analysis, and then they say, go do social marketing and here, put these images out and this will do it for you. You know, I get it. Everybody does business their own way. For me, as I've done business, I've had to figure out marketing. And as I've understood then, that soup has all those different components. What are those components? How do you get your soup to your customer so that you can make a sale? Is sales involved in marketing or sales different? What exactly is marketing? Marketing is your chance to get in front of your customer. That's your process. That's what it takes. You in front of your customer. That's marketing, dumbed down to its simplest form. Mind-blowing, right? Absolutely mind-blowing. How are you going to do it? Some of the biggest brands, Coke, Pepsi, Nike, right? Name out any of those big mega companies. They're competing for the exact same attention that you, the detailer, are competing for your customer or your prospect. So you have a big challenge ahead of you. You want to grow your detailing business. You want to apply more coatings. You want to do more. It's the great American dream. How are you going to do it when you're having to compete against all these other massive companies? There's been people that come onto our podcast and, well, they've said, wow, you're just little detailers. You're just a detailer. Well, in that grand scheme of everything, you are. You're a very micro, small business competing in a massive world against some of the global giants who have been trained for years on developing specific marketing plans so that they can dial in their media to the exact point that they can just draw attention. So how are you going to compete? How are you going to be able to do that? What goes in your soup that puts you in front of your customer the best way? It's involved with a lot of different things. The very first part, though, that you're definitely going to have to understand in order to get that dialed in and get your soup the right way, you're going to have to understand who your main customer is. All right. This is demo time for a second. I found this shirt as I was doing some spring cleaning. And there it is. This is my mobile detailer shirt that I wore as part of my uniform. I got it about year 2 in business. At first, I couldn't afford much. Definitely one of the big things to do early on, right? Easy lesson. Get everybody in a uniform, including yourself. But wave washing was my business, and I encourage people to catch the wave to clean. I did that first by I realized one of the first people that I first started working with were business owners specifically around properties. Okay. Names like Mike Sitton, Mike Case. These were people that early on in my business, I got to start working with. And when I mean working, I served them on a weekly basis, Mike sitting was every 7 o'clock every Friday morning. So it didn't matter what my Thursday night was like. If I wanted that guy's business, I would be at his house at 7 o'clock on a Friday morning to detail his car every Friday. Now, the interesting part about when you start working with property owners, well, some of them also have property buildings that they own. Another segment that I found myself as a young 24-year-old detailer, another group that I somehow just began to work really well with, that was office ladies inside oil companies was a main part, right? Oklahoma has quite a large population of oil. Right? It's a lot of companies here do it. So being able to go into the companies that were inside the buildings owned by the people that I was cleaning their cars allowed me to go in and say, hi, I can be here every 2 weeks. I can clean your car. Here's what I'll do it for. And it was such a good service for them versus the service that they would be going to get from maybe down at the car wash, or maybe from some shop that they had heard about, but it was so hard to get into. So the convenience of being a mobile detailer and going to the office ladies, smiling and interacting with them allowed me the opportunity to infiltrate many office buildings. So I had two main objectives. And because I had those two main objectives, I could market to those people specifically. Now, the property owners, the business owners, the people that I would set up on a weekly maintenance cleaning, those customers, I handled and talked with them. Their packages were just a little bit different than the customers that I would work with inside these office buildings. The purpose of why I'm walking you through this is because, yeah, I've got random phone calls from people. And of course, I had other customers, but they were the heartbeat, right? They were the main majority of how I developed and grew my business as a mobile detailer. Marketing for me then is similar to marketing for you now, except, well, I chose not to do this thing called the Yellow Pages with this big giant book. Now it's called Yelp, right? You've probably heard of that. Well, it was different back then. You had to pay a lot of money to try and possibly get in front of somebody. The opportunities that you have now to get in front of people, wow, it is really, really mind-blowing. So what's it going to cost you? Right? For me, like I said, I've done everything that I can with virtually zero marketing budget. Now, of course, as this company, my latest, what we're doing at Total Auto Solutions, Pints and Polishing podcast, of course I've invested in, right? And of course I've put together marketing budgets and put together money to market towards events and market towards things, right? The majority of what I did, though, has all been done not off of going to a training and paying somebody that hasn't actually detailed cars, but learning, working, understanding the processes, putting in the time, energy, and effort. So what's it going to cost you? I get myself a Christmas present every year. It's always been my thing. I don't know why. I'm sure everybody does, right? Mine this year was this smooth gimbal. Right? There's a couple different gimbals that are out on the market, and I just grabbed this one. It was probably on some Black Friday thing or something. It's probably why I grabbed it. All right. The gimbal has been incredible for what we do. I also stay up to date on I try and always get 1 to 2 years. If I can trade in a phone every year, I always try and do that. Having the newest technology in cameras has always been a good thing. Being able to shoot a photo, being able to record videos better is a good thing. So there is some financial cost that you should do, right? A gimbal really does help from shaking and moving. It really does do a lot of good for you. So if there is one little tip, right? If you do need to spend something go get yourself a gimbal. You can get them for $150, 200, maybe three. You can go all kinds of different ways, right? Some guys are wearing cameras on their heads with GoPros or on their neck, right? Any way that you can record video is something that you should really, really invest into. But overall, what is it going to cost you? What is creating a marketing plan specific towards customers? What does it really, really cost you? You might not be able to afford it. I understand. You might not even really want to spend into it. The main majority of cost is going to be actually your greatest asset in life, right? It's your greatest resource. It's the greatest thing that you have. It's your time. It's you, right? For 2020, as there were so many changes, what did I do? I invested a shitload of time sitting, learning, adapting, right? When I say you've got so many more opportunities now as a detailer than I ever did as a mobile detailer, and we still run a mobile detailing service. Some of the customers like Mike Case that I picked up in 2003 and began to really grow through servicing his office buildings and servicing his cars. Well, we just cleaned 4 of his cars this past weekend, mobile. We still run a shop. The video that you're going to see here in a second is a video that I recorded and shot off of a car, off of a truck that a customer brought in and we detailed. So the opportunities that you have are, wow, they're endless. You're going to need to spend a lot of time, right? One of the coolest things that I've learned through the podcast, Pints and Polishing Podcast, actually has become from the interviews and the people that I talk to. One great interview that I really recommend is a young kid that has been rapidly growing. Now, has many people questioning different things, which is good. Anytime generally somebody starts growing, people question, which is fine. But a really cool episode, sharing a beer in Nashville with a young kid named Luke Wilson Auto Detailing. He goes over how, you know what? I started into understanding that I needed to not do quantity, but quality, and use that quality of videos and use that quality of time to best service what he wanted to do for his business. His business wasn't designed exactly like everybody else's. But he understood that if he took the time, energy, and effort early in his career to make sure that he put out enough content of the work that he was doing, that would better him long term. You don't hear that from a lot of people that you're going to go pay to train you. You won't hear that. Luke Wilson has a different mind than a lot of people. He's a smart kid. He's growing very rapidly, and I was happy to be able to find him early in his career, which he talked about on that episode. The amount of effort that he has had to put in, well, you can see why he's had the success that he has. Hey, guess what? He's no different than you. He's detailing cars. You detail cars. You have the exact same 24 hours in a day. You have the exact same opportunity. What's it going to take? What's it going to cost? It's going to cost you. It's going to cost everything that you have inside, maybe, because you're already going, shit, I've got so much to do. I've got wife and I got kids and I've got family. Well, and I'm trying to grow this business, and you might even be doing it part-time. You might have a full-time job, and wait a second, I got to spend now hours at night. I was trying to relax. I was trying to catch up on my show. What's it going to cost you? Many times in the episodes last year on the Pints and Polishing podcast, I would constantly bring up a growing star in television. Well, it wasn't television. It was more, on demand. And it was the Tiger King. And I always joked about the Tiger King because he got so popular, but I had never once seen an episode. DJ can vouch for how many times he would come in and see me, and I'd be sitting on a yoga mat, really working, diving in straight into my phone, barely looking up. I would spend nights, hours and hours diving through different apps, trying to adjust, trying to figure out, do I like this app? Do I like this app? How do I work with this? And I would throw out a bunch of content with one app, switch over to another app. It's a very, very fun game when you're making up your soup. So what's it going to cost you? Are you actually going to be able to succeed? Many of you maybe should just pay somebody. Just go pay the $500, you know? Follow the plan that they're going to say, hey, go put it on social media. Hey, pay $30 per click. $30 for a lead. I mean, some of you should. Unless you really can look at yourself in the mirror, do a gut check, see how much you really, really want, everything you want out of your business, everything you want out of success in life. What is it that you really, really want? And how much is it going to cost you? In order for you to grow your marketing, in order for you to add more coatings into your business, you're going to have to look at yourself in the mirror. You're going to have to look deep in your eyes, right? Don't get all freaky, right? But look in. Give yourself a question. See what you got. How much time can you invest? Could you invest 2 hours a night? Could you invest an hour? What TV show do you need to give up? What habit do you need to quit? What do you need to begin to peel off of what you're doing throughout your day so that you can spend more time working on your business, growing your marketing campaign? Well, so let's dive in. Let's see what that soup really looks like. Let's see what an overall marketing campaign could be for a detailer. All right, now, what we're going to do here is we're going to show a video. And this is a process video that I did where, like I said earlier, I had a business owner come in with their truck, and I want to walk through, right? This is to me how, and the process overall agenda of how you add more coatings to your business, how you apply more coatings. You do it through storytelling. See, storytelling is, well, it's commercials. If you go and watch your favorite TV show, they're going to tell you stories. And then you're going to go watch little 15, 30-second, 2-minute commercials. And a lot of what they're going to do inside those commercials for Pepsi, for Budweiser, for any of those, watch them. They tell a story. You get the opportunity as a detailer by using technology today to tell your story and your process on how you took care of your customers' needs. All right, see, now remember, here's one thing that detailers do a little bit different that I want to shed light on. There's a difference in storytelling and just taking the same photo over and over, or saying how great you did, or saying, oh, look how many, was it big thing, how many passes I did, or how many levels of correction I did, and how many of this I did, and what I did of this, right? When you do marketing that way, when you put that out there, is that really designed to talk to your customers? Or are you trying to talk more about your own self? The best commercials, the best marketing is actually solving and helping a customer, meeting them in their moment to help solve their need. And when you solve their need through storytelling and showing them how you do it, well, that's how you're going to add a lot more coating. So, Sheldon, let's play this video. Now, you can use a lot of different apps and videos. I watched it first. I okay. Hmm. Where the music went. All right, so what we're seeing here, and I'll go ahead and walk through, and we can just let this keep playing. So what I've done, and like I said, we'll put it out. Sheldon, I'll send. I think I sent you the video, but we'll see if we can put that out. The video actually out on. I think you said you got YouTube, or we can throw it out into some places so they can. They can. Oh, keep it playing though, will you? Keep it playing. The we'll put out the whole video so that they can see the words. Because yeah, can you fast? Yeah. Is that? Can it be fast forwarded to where we? Because the main part of it will be as we were doing in the coatings, and then showing the car going and all that. Anyway, see if you can get that up. If not, we'll keep rolling. But here's the first thing. Here's the first step. All right, you've got your gimbal, you got your phone, and when you're recording, right? You saw all the different, and you got where I showed some of the interior work, right? Then I'm going to go into how we clean the car, processes of what we're going to do. But in my words, right? In the words that you write, and you need to make sure that when you edit videos that you put words down at the bottom. And apologies, like I said, I think it's just, the way the dimensions were and stuff. We have it set on the dimensions. I probably have it set up to be ready to go for Instagram or something. So our bad on that. When you're setting these up though, make sure you write captions at the bottom. Now, and the captions that at the bottom were specific, right? They were specific talking to business owners that might have dirty vehicles ruining their image. So at that first part of the video, I put in words about, hey, business owners that run around with dirty vehicles, how bad does it hurt your image? Your image is the only thing you have, but yet you're riding around with it in a dirty cover. So put in stuff like that, right? We're not going to be talking to other detailers, right? One of the cool things about what we do at Total Auto Solutions is we do live free pop-up trainings. And one of them that we did in Atlanta was at a shop with Mark from Firehouse. It was his tint shop there in Atlanta. And then we went to a local brewery and drank some beers. There's a local detailer there named Vinny. Vinny shared a story about, hey, I put out on social and I put out info and I really go. But he only gets detailers that comment and respond back. I said, Vinny, it's because you're talking to detailers. When you're marketing, you need to talk to your customers. You need to speak in language that they will understand. Might not, if you are trying to work with a business owner that has properties, he might not know what correction is. He might not know how many levels or how many steps. Like, you need to talk to them about their image, pulling up to the golf course in a clean vehicle, making sure if you're talking to family members of those people, you address them in certain ways. Maybe you want to work with housewives. So you need to talk and speak to them in those videos, and you wouldn't do a video like I did for a housewife. It would be a completely different video. This is what I'm saying. It's going to take time. You've got to understand who it is that you're speaking with. And so that video, I designed it specifically towards business owners. And so I spoke to them about their image and about how we could help clean their image. And once their image is cleaned, it needs to be protected, right? And so, sir, madam, if your image constantly keeps getting dirty, why don't we put a protection down there that will keep it cleaner longer? And then let's put you in our maintenance program so that we can maintain the cleanliness for you. It's a better process. It's how I've been able to keep going since 2002. the idea of being able to talk to a customer specifically and give them the information that they need is what will define you as a marketer. The other night on the Pints and Polishing Podcast Community Pub, it was commented from Mobile Tech RX that said, hey, I bet you guys, you probably hear it too many times that you're an artist. And I was like, no, actually, we don't hear that enough. Detailers are true artists. We are very, very creative. You can speak to your customers and you can record these videos. Once you do record that main video, right? I spent a lot of time recording, and I didn't detail that car as fast as I possibly could. I made sure to get plenty of content, and then I spent time at night editing, compiling into one big video, right? Now, you can do that video as a 60-second one, would probably be a good one, a good size. You can do it a little bit longer if you need to. That one was longer than normal for what I like to do because I wanted to go through quite a bit of stuff, and like I said, I mean, I really wanted to go a lot of the words that were down at the bottom. What you got to do then after you build out that big one is let's go to take that big video and let's keep it at a minute. You want to start that one out and put that on Instagram, right? Under that 1 minute part, right? Not mind blowing. Put it out on Facebook, right? Put those big videos, put them out. Put it on a YouTube channel. Put it out on LinkedIn, right? Put it out into the big platforms first. Great. Now, take that video and let's go to another platform. This is the cool part about this moment. Few people can actually share and talk to you about the app that used to be called music.ly that my little girls were on, that I would shoot videos with them and hang out on this thing called music.ly that then got bought and turned into a company called TikTok. And as it began to explode, I talked nonstop last year. Every detailer should be on TikTok. Last year I was saying it. Why? Because of the amount of creativity that you get to do. So, Sheldon, let's walk him through how to make a TikTok. Now, I think he said just a second ago that he wasn't able to turn off the audio on this part, I guess, or something. So the volume might be a little weird because I was trying to go a little bit faster through the video, so it wasn't like, I think because of the original time that I did this, it was like a 7-minute video. I was like, we're not going to sit here for 7 minutes and watch this. So I sped it up. If you want to, you can mute your audio because it doesn't sound too good. So go ahead and play.
Keeping
Well, yeah, audio is kind of odd too. Okay. I gotta turn my audio off. I can't even think. There we go. All right. Let's turn that off. Let me walk through. Now I can think. All right, Sheldon, can you press play again? I want to start from the beginning.
keeping it
Cool. All right. So here's TikTok. This is on your main page. You're going to have a for you and a following. All right. Then you go and click and add. All right. So if you see what I'm doing right down here at the bottom, right, I put in the full video. I added it. But then what I'm doing is I'm taking little minor clips out. Okay. And then I'm going to go in and write. See what? You can go in and make little notes down at the bottom to talk to your customers. Now, who is on TikTok? Is a business owner on TikTok right now? Maybe not. So I actually in the report talked about have you ever seen a truck look like this? Wow, it's crazy. Look how dirty it is, right? You can put in those gifts, you can do a transition, right? You open up the door, boom. You know, the creativity that we get to do on TikTok is way beyond any other platform. What TikTok has been able to do for us has been really, really amazing. I can now go in and change out what I was going to write. this? Well, is it in your family? Most likely, that's on TikTok's going to be a younger person. So if they're in your family, watch this. Then just have your dad call them. Here's the number. Boom. I took the overall video that we made, and now I'm going to splice it up into small little segments. The ability to repurpose, to spend your time doing the core thing up front and then be able to shoot it out all over the place. Wow. It's a really great opportunity that we have. Call, put in a number. All right, so some of the things that I that the words stay on, right? That's setting the duration. So this is what I'm doing now. And you'll see, I'll go through and I'll put, oh, it paused.
Hey, sorry, Marty. It looks like the video or the music's playing for everyone. So when you're talking, people, it's really hard to hear you. So yeah, sorry about that. I'll have to play it and then you kind of have to like talk through it after when I pause it.
All right, all right. All right. So let's see. We went back. All right. You set your durations. Up here, you can go through and set the while it rolls to their feet, it's going to do this little like boomerang thing, and you can set up there at the top. You can set that what image you want. Definitely on here is big for you. You only have so many words, you know. Couple words you write up at the top, and then big on hashtags. Now, here's the key. Don't be concerned about views. Please. Your marketing isn't just simply about how many people see it, because this is where it's important. Sure, there's going to be people, and we have them. We have videos that hit 1 million. It's really cool. For us, it's a bit different. And I can't say that 1 million of those people detail cars. It possibly got hit by hashtags that, you know, drew people's attention, but it wasn't specific enough. So if you see what I'm doing here, you need to be extremely specific in these moments. Don't get too aggressive of thinking you want to get on the For You page and you want all these people around the country to see what you're doing, right? You need to add more coatings. You're not trying to get likes. You want to add more coatings? Local hashtag the shit out of it, right? You get a lot of room here to local hashtag. So use it. Tag local. And what did I do? I just put in Tulsa. And then I went through and just clicked, right? Tulsa this, Tulsa that, Tulsa this, Tulsa that. Search your city. Put in the hashtags there. That's what you need to be doing. All right. So just show the TikTok video itself. Let's do that one. Cool. All right. From there, let's go to stories. Okay. So we've put out a 15-second clip on TikTok. Now let's play the story, right? All right, pause it if you could. All right, so what you're seeing there at the first was me going into Instagram, right? Going and clicking on the story, adding it. You add it in, and it goes back, and then it puts it back in. It was going in fast forward to try and speed up, so we didn't have to sit through it all. All right. So I'm sorry. I said earlier stories. I meant reels. My apologies. All right. So reels is basically is Instagram's version of TikTok. All right. And so here we go and add that video back into reels. And then we get to go in and say a little bit more, right? Here, though, on Instagram, you can talk then back to different, right? Understand you're on a different platform. Talk to your customers here. Local hashtags here, right? Now, what have we done? We took a large video that we've put out, then we moved it over to one platform and cut it up into one small segment. We moved it over back to another platform that we already have done some marketing on, but we cut it into a small segment here. Okay. What we're going to do is then go back in and cut out each of those little segments that I had in that big video. Okay. So let's say you do a big video that's 1 minute long. You can then splice that into, what is that? Four different videos of 15 seconds, I think. You could even do 3 and make some a little longer, right? But I like the 4 at 15. And those 4 at 15, you then get to put out on each other platform again. So I'm getting a little bit of rinse and repeat. I'm going to hit people a little bit different way. And all the time I'm going to speak to that customer so that I can encourage them to make a sale. But I'm going to do it through storytelling, right? I show the story of the process and then I speak to them in words so that I can talk to who they are. Not about them or not about how great I am or all about, right? Speak to them. All right, let's go keep playing. And I think that's where I'm just writing it down. Boom, boom, boom. Local hashtags. All right, so these are, and you can keep playing, and I think there's no volume. I can't remember, so I don't know. I'm not sure if I can talk or. Okay, cool. All right, so that is video, right? That is your video way of and written word, because I need to write captions and then I need to write copy. And then I go put those out into all the platforms. Here's where you dive even deeper. There's this really cool thing in Facebook that I know detailers love, these groups, right? And it can seem very, very, as a young detailer, getting in and hopping into groups and, hey, I get to talk to people and ask questions. And it is great. It's a great process of learning. The thing about groups is, you know how many local groups you have in your town that are filled with your customers, with your prospects? Now, the tendency would be for a detailer to go into these groups and act the exact same way they do in a detailer group. Wrong. Go into these groups, and I want you to see and notice the way I go into groups, the way I talk and interact. I like to leave comments, leave discussion points, ask questions. Right? Overall, I found if you go in and just start unloading a bunch of information, people don't really interact as much. But if you go in and talk to them about their posts and offer suggestions or guides, right? Go in and tell them happy birthday when they put out that it was their birthday in their group, or whatever thing that they are dealing with. Go and spend time in your local groups. If you have a marketing campaign towards moms in Tulsa, hey, there's a group, Moms in Tulsa. Hell, there's a South Tulsa, a North Tulsa, a Broken Arrow. I mean, there's so many mom groups that you can go into and just leave reviews, comments, discussions, not reviews on their business, just reviews about what they're going through, or hey, is there a diaper? Well, I really found I like this diaper. Okay. Whatever it is that they are in their process of, you need to interact with them. Facebook groups are a big part for that. Then on some of those comments, when somebody says something, maybe they talk about a spill or a stain or anything. You go, oh, we dealt with something like that. Boom. Hop in that video. It's a 15-second little clip. It talks to them audio, visual, talks to them down with written word. Now you've got another spot that you can throw that video back into. So how many different levels have we already created? Soup, right? How much does it take? How much does it cost? How much time, energy, and effort will you put into your opportunity? The best opportunity that any of us have ever known is right now, is today. So how much are you going to invest into? Are you going to go to the next level? Huh? You know what goes on after this? Let's talk to Brandon from Tim's Mobile Detailer. He has been doing, as we suggested in 18 and 19 at Mobile Tech Education Days. Hey, detailers, you should have a podcast. Detailers, you should have a podcast that talks and interviews to your local customers, your local community, right? The opportunity of you getting to have a podcast for your town, well, that's just pretty rare. First of all, you know how much it would have cost to have your own radio show back in the day? Way beyond what you could afford. Way, right? So you can create your own local radio show in a sense. And what he's been able to do is really quite mind-blowing. How about every single episode that he records, he gets a customer? How about that? How about, I think he said 15 plus coatings he's been able to do from that? How much does it take? How much does it cost? How far are you willing to go? How much time, energy, and effort are you willing to spend? You want to coat more cars? You got to market. You got to market better. You market by speaking to your customers, by interacting with them on their level, by going into Facebook groups and talking with them, by recording the video of the car process and telling the story of what problem you were solving for that customer. Then taking and dissecting that problem into a bunch of different little videos that you put out on all different platforms. You speak again to those prospects. You're getting to do this all for virtually free, except it's costing you your time. Free. And you can continue over and over and over. And sure, you could possibly in a week get some good, strong leads. And you could possibly start coating cars more and more even next month. You know what's really going to happen is next year. You know what's really going to happen is 2 years from now. Will you be able to continue to go? Will you be able to continue to invest into your company? Or do you want to just pay a $30 click every time? Those 15 cars that Brandon coated, boy, if he would have spent $30, he wouldn't have gotten every single lead to book a coating. It's probably more like about 5 to 10%. So he would have probably had to have spent, on that $30 lead click from Google that companies want to sell you. Well, what would that really cost him? A couple grand? He was able to do it on his own time. And his business is continuing to explode. Go search him. Go look him up. Ask him. Brandon, Tim's Mobile Detail. He is absolutely doing an amazing job by using all different forms of media. And he's doing it all for free. All right, let's dive into some Q&A. Can't wait to get into some specific questions if we have any. And
all right.
Again, say thanks. Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
Yeah, thanks for the intel. I'm not very familiar with TikTok, but my wife loves it, so it sounds like I need to dive into it a little bit more. We did have a question from Julian. How do we build the relationships with Facebook, Instagram, local car groups?
Oh, yeah. Great question. Those car groups are going to have Facebook groups, right? So one thing that you can do too is set up right? This is a thing that I did specifically here local. I have a detailer in Tulsa that was working at a car wash and wanted to get out and have his own shop. So as he started doing mobile and then he moved into a shop that I help him set up at a window tint and clear bra place. And so he gets to use their facility and detail out of there. Well, the big launch that really helped was we began to work together with the local Porsche Club. I went and spoke at the Porsche Club, and then we held a clinic. And that clinic did amazing because Porsche owners are very particular. They ask a lot of questions, and they're an interesting breed of clientele. And so when you can educate them on how they can care for their car, well, it puts you, and this is a great example. This is something that Sheldon, that Mike Phillips talks about heavily. Right? This is a Mike Phillips playbook, right? You set yourself up as the professional, as the one who knows everything. Then when they're not able to do it, who are they going to call? Well, they're going to call you. You know what specifically we talked about there at that clinic? What ceramic coatings would do for their Porsche, right? We did the cleanings. We did all that, same as I did in the video. The thing about adding more coatings is it doesn't mean that you take away from the premise of detailing, of servicing a customer's vehicle. By educating the Porsche owners on how to properly care for their vehicle, we were able to easily transition into talking about protecting their vehicle. Protecting their vehicle with a ceramic coating. Now, specifically, we're talking about my ceramic coating, Total Auto Solutions, and we were using CC 105. And we were particularly talking about it because, we felt that it was the best thing that Porsche owner should use. And the other owner, it wasn't just one, right? The other owners in there, that Porsche Club would be a better way of saying it. And then you know what? That Porsche Club also has a Facebook group. And they have meetups. So what does a detailer do that wants to continue to invest into that community? Is then he goes and gets in interactions with their Facebook group, because once he's met them and talked to them and interacted with them personally, then they let him into that private group. So then he becomes the detailer for the Porsche Club and goes out to whenever they do meetings and meetups, right? He goes out and rides along with them or goes and sees them when they finish. Marketing isn't just one thing. It's not just here's a playbook. There's all kinds of different plays, all kinds of different ways to be able to go in and interact. And that's a great question, Julian. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many car meetups and cars and coffee and whatnot. So seems like there's a lot of great ways to go out there and meet people and try to get into those clubs. If anyone else has any questions, we still have a little bit of time. But I guess for now, Marshall, I mean, what do you think's the next big thing? Right now it's TikTok. What do you see coming out next? We're down to a 15-second attention span.
Yeah.
From people, are we going to go to 5-second clips, or what do you think's next?
Man, that is tough. And it does become a challenge to be able. That's why I was showing earlier, like, it's hard to be able to cut down into 15 seconds, right? It really, to be able to talk to somebody in 15 seconds, it's tough. You got to go quick early and hit them out with something big early on. I think the stat that I've heard is if you can get somebody past 3 seconds, you can maybe get them for that full 15 seconds. But yeah, you're right. It is a difficult process to be able to get into that 15 seconds. The next thing that maybe could be popping a little bit more is a new app called Clubhouse. Clubhouse it took off in such a way that apparently some of the other bigger brands, and of course the way Facebook always does, once there's a new platform emerging, Facebook really tries to either take it or dominate it. And so The rumor is that Facebook will come out with their Clubhouse. I think there's been talk of some other ones coming out with their version, but basically Clubhouse, and we have like I said earlier, if anybody needs an invite, it's invite only. They'll probably eventually stop that, but if you need an invite, just shoot me a text, 918-800-1188. And Clubhouse is fun. You go into these rooms that are groups, and we've got a couple different groups that we have set up for detailers there. And you go in and they're set up on schedules. We host discussions, and then there's an audience, and the audience there's a little button you can click to raise your hand, and you can ask a question. There's a part where you can bring somebody up onto the main, quote unquote stage of the platform so that they can talk there.
But it's audio only though, right? There's no video,
correct.
Just audio.
It's audio only, correct. No recording either. It's specific to be able to do
Interesting.
dialogue only and no recording. And right now it is good for detailers to go in and network inside of local stuff. And the big, now it's so small that really the big stuff that's popping are big stuff, right? Big things, big ideas, big discussions, big names, but there's local too. You just got to spend a little bit more time digging through, and you'll find them. There'll be local clubs and local things that you can go interact with. These are the times that you just talk to people, right? You just dialogue and discuss.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was actually going to talk to you about Clubhouse offline, so I'm glad you brought that up. I was curious of your take on it, though. Very cool. I guess
it's slow going, I think, for the detailing industry. The auto industry, though, it's already pretty big. There's dealership groups and dealership stocks and stuff like that in there that I've been in. But for the actual detailers to go in and interact with detailers is very small. They should spend their time, on local community stuff.
Okay. I guess really the most important question that's been asked today, this is from Tim's Mobile Detailing, is where is Marty's hat? I think this is the first time I've ever seen you without a hat or a beanie on as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what it is. Yeah.
Again, thanks so much.
Maybe the hats will be back. We'll see.
Well, thanks again for doing this for us, Marty. This was a great session, and hope everyone learned a little bit about the videos and TikTok. We will post those YouTube links, give everyone a chance to rewatch those videos. They'll be coming out. I'll put them in the comment when we're done here. But thanks again, and I'll hopefully see you in Vegas here coming up in August.
No doubt.
All right. Well, take care, man. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Sheldon. Enjoy your day.
Cheers. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That was really great with Marshall Hill. So next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the 15 most impactful marketing tactics to grow your practice, capture market share, presented by John Seal from Hanger Marketing. And before we close, I want to give a big thank you to our supporting sponsors, G Technique, Coach Shimmy, and PNS Detail. So everyone, have a great night, and we'll see you next week.